All right, great. So we're going to get started. Let me share my slides here. First of all, thank you all for coming. We have a great turnout for this event. We're really excited to share with you all kind of the updates about the organization and how 2023 has been going so far. All right, great. So we're going to get started. Let me share my slides here. First of all, thank you all for coming. We have a great turnout for this event. We're really excited to share with you all kind of the updates about the organization and how 2023 has been going so far. All right. So first of all, I want to, in fall of 2022, we had our first election for our new executive board for 2023 to 2025. And I want to welcome our new executive board, including myself, that began here in the organization in February 2023. Dr. Courtney Ray, she is still here with us as our past president, but we also have Dr. Sakina Butt. We have Dr. Karen Jean. We have Erica. We have Dr. Yinka Reed, who's still here as member of large, as well as Kier. And then we also have Leah and Bree as our student representative elect and student representative. In addition to that, I want to kind of put a shout out and a welcome to our advisory board. We have a couple new faces who they've been really helpful in kind of advising us and helpful in the growth of this organization. And also with some, as you can tell, some of our new executive board have moved up from old committee positions. So I also want to put a shout out to our committee chairs. They've been very active and helpful in the growth of the organization, especially with all the new committee initiatives that have been going on, which I'll talk about today during our presentation. Now, I do want to say, you know, Courtney, Dr. Courtney Ray, Kendra, Valencia, and Will, they were the founding executive board of SBN and played a big part in really the development of this organization. They have recorded a little goodbye message for us, and I want to really show my appreciation for them and give them a big thanks. So let me know if you can't hear this video.
Hi, my name is Dr. Courtney Ray.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kendra Anderson.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Will McBride.
Hello, I'm Dr. Valencia Montgomery.
It has been our honor to have made up the founding executive board, and it's been our joy to pass the torch to the next leadership team. Each of us have written heartfelt valedictory messages, which you can read in the SBN newsletter. This organization will always have our support and our affections. May SBN thrive forever in solidarity.
Well, that was really, really sweet. I want to just say thank you to them. They really created a community where, you know, Black voices can be heard and a space for all of us. So without them, we really wouldn't be here today.
Hi.
So Dr. Courtney Ray, she mentioned kind of in that video about the messages they wrote in our newsletter. It did go out today. The communique issue 2 is out. Please check it out. It's on our website, as well as it was emailed on our listserv to hear more about all the things that have happened in 2022, 2023, including updates with the organization and upcoming talks and events. Including INS and updates on the Minnesota conference. I know Courtney will talk about today. We hope to have more of these newsletters coming out. I'm going to now pass it over to Courtney.
Good evening, everyone. I just, as Dr. Harley said, I'm still here. I have not passed away. Thank you. Thank goodness. I am still a part of this organization, as are the rest of the initial executive board. We, as we said, we're still going to be supportive, and I'm still on this board as past president. And I'm really glad to be able to work with everyone who's here, the new people and the people who are remaining. And our membership is, as always, just excellent, from the student members all the way up to our very senior members. We have so many people who have done so many great things, and INS was able to highlight that as usual. This was the first INS where we were together in person because SBN was born during the time of the pandemic. So everything had been virtual. And so it was great to see SBN members giving talks, presentations, discussing their research and being able to look over their posters and just being able to fellowship with one another. So that was really awesome. Another first that we had is the exhibit hall booth. SBN collaborated with the Asian Neuropsych Association, the Hispanic Neuropsych Society, and the Queer Neuropsychological Society to have a booth in the exhibit hall where we talk to people and let them know about our different organizations. We are kind of sister organizations together, and we do a lot of collaborations. And this was something that was fun, and it allowed us also to pool our resources to be able to reach out to people who are in INS who may not have heard of our different organizations, and to be able to give them a little bit of information and also give them some goodies and sign them up for membership if they had not already done so. And if you are on this call right now or on this meeting right now and you haven't signed up for membership, that's something that you need to do as well. Another first, and one of the biggest highlights, I think, of the entire INS was actually that first evening. It was the S. Walden-Miller Luminaries Dinner. As you know, we have an annual tradition of highlighting people who have been pioneers in our field, who have been trailblazers, who have done things that we can look up to in their research and in the things that they're doing academically, or in their private practices, or through mentorship or advocacy. So we like to highlight those individuals, and we were able to my screen just went blank for a little bit. We were able to highlight those people, and a featured luminary was Dr. April Thames. We had also a featured spark. So this is somebody who is an up-and-coming early career practitioner that we want to also highlight, and that was Dr. Mnet Gamada. We highlighted Dr. S. Walden-Miller's legacy as someone who has been instrumental in making sure that this organization has people that we can look up to. He was a great mentor. He did a lot of research just in the community, and really was one of the pioneers who showed a spotlight on the most important part of research, making sure that we have good sample sizes for different people who are going to be participating in our research, because you can't leave out a whole population. And so he was one of the co-authors of what is commonly talked about as the Heaton norms. And so he is no longer with us, but we were able to bring together his family. So his daughter, his son, and his wife were able to come and to celebrate so that they could see just how much of an impact Dr. Miller was able to make during his career. And then we also had sort of this idea of seeing what he did, how he was able to highlight great research and be able to mentor people and bring them up as professionals, and then seeing how SBN was able to carry that torch. And we had the opportunity as the founding board to pass the torch to this leadership team. And that ceremony we had there, I think was something that was a memory for many of us that will keep forever. It was great to be able to pass that on and to be able to just see the long chain of just passing that knowledge and that leadership and that legacy of Black excellence from person to person. And so that was awesome. Dr. Tim, is going to be having a lecture that we are going to, or an interview that we're going to do to highlight her research, to highlight her just work in progress and the things that she's just done as a phenomenal researcher, as a phenomenal neuropsychologist. And as part of the Luminaries Award, the interview comes with that. And so you'll be getting updates about when that's going to be. And we hope that you'll tune into that because that'll be on YouTube as well. And lastly, one of the other big things that we did at INS was a collaboration with the Cultural Neuropsych Council. And it was an outreach to Lincoln High School, which is a Title I school in San Diego. 26 high school juniors were able to come to one day of INS to be able to come and spend some time shadowing people who are themselves neuropsychologists or people who are in training for neuropsychology. And so we had 7 mentors, 5 of them were SBN members, and it was really great to showcase what neuropsych could be and help these young people to know that this is a career option for them. And so that was one thing that we really, really enjoyed, and we hope to replicate that obviously with CNC and with the rest of our sister organizations in other areas and in other conferences going forward. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is not having anything to do with INS. This is about the Minnesota Update Conference. We're all familiar with the Houston guidelines, and the Minnesota Update Conference was a very long overdue conference trying to say how we can make those Houston guidelines, bring them into the 21st century. And SBN was involved in the organization and sponsorship. We had delegates there. We were part of the leadership team, and we were also, we had members on the steering committee and in the focus groups, and all of those different facets SBN had a hand in, and we are going to have another hand in that in this summer when the Minnesota guidelines are given out to everyone, all of the organizations who participated, so that they could look them over and then give feedback about these guidelines before they are formally adopted. And so you'll be getting more information about that as well. The guidelines will be formatted to be publicized in the TNC and in neuropsychology, and we hope that it will be able to be adopted by different programs around the country. And so we really want SBN members to give their feedback, particularly if you are involved in training or if you yourself are a student or a trainee, to be able to talk about what you think these guidelines, the content of them, whether or not there are any substantive issues or things that you want to share. And one thing that is not on the slide but is very important is that in the Minnesota Update Conference, there was a part where we talked about a formal apology from neuropsych to those marginalized communities that have been harmed. And so that's something that will also be included in the updated guidelines as well. So hopefully you'll come back for that meeting and you'll give your input and feedback.
Thanks so much for those updates. I will say I absolutely will always remember that dinner, especially it was nice seeing you guys for the first time ever in person. Next, I'm going to pass it on to Annie and Jeremy, who will talk about the mentorship committee.
Hi, everyone. Dr. Grant and myself, we're currently the co-chairs of the mentorship committee. One of the core missions of SBN, as we all know, is to diversify the pipeline and increase the representation of neuropsychologists, students, and scholars across all training levels. And to address the lack of diversity in our field, Dr. Will McBride and I, about 2 years ago, developed a mentorship program that was focused on providing trainees with individualized one-on-one mentoring, as well as professional development opportunities. During the inaugural year, which was in 2021, of the program, we had over 75 mentors from all backgrounds and training level join our program and join our mentor roster. And this allowed us to pair mentees with mentors based on their unique needs. And thus far, we have over 80 mentees who have joined the program over the past 2 years. Next slide. In addition to individualized mentoring, we also host social events throughout the year to build a sense of community among our mentees and provide opportunities for networking and sharing of knowledge, resources, and support. I believe this was one of our trivia nights, which we'll be having today as well. So as you see, we have our mentees join and the committee join over Zoom, and we have these socials throughout the year. Next slide. And one of the important things is that many of our mentees throughout the last 2 years have matched into excellent internship and postdoc, have received awards and fellowship, and they have noted that their SBN mentors have played a critical role in these accomplishments. Importantly, mentors have helped mentees with navigating challenging experiences in their training, as well as reducing barriers that oftentimes trainees from marginalized communities often face. We're currently about to end the 2022 and 23 mentoring program, where we have 38 current mentor-mentee pairs. And we're also providing support when it comes to applying for graduate school, internship, and postdoc. You might have seen our webinars that we have done over the past few years. And as I mentioned as well, we'll continue to have these professional development and network opportunities throughout the year over Zoom and in person. Next, Dr. Grant.
I've had the wonderful opportunity to be both a mentor and a mentee in this program, and I've met so many other wonderful Black neuropsychology trainees. And a big focus of our program is really to help people with really the measurable and the big milestones of neuropsychology training, applying for grad school, applying for internship, applying for postdoc, things like that. But also, the things that are less measurable. Just having someone who looks like you, who can relate to you, who is excited about the things that you're excited about, someone who can be there for you at conferences and introduce you to other people and help with your networking. And so a big way that we stepped up this year to help with those endeavors was by providing some awards, some financial awards to help fight the financial barriers to attending conferences or to applying to these big milestones like internship. And you'll see some of our winners listed here who are also in attendance tonight. Really big congrats to them. And we hope to offer these awards more in the future. We hope to see as many of you as possible at our next large gatherings in person. You can go to the next slide. And so, yeah, as Annie mentioned, we're about to start the next iteration of the mentorship program. And we are going to put out another call for as many mentors as we can. We've had lots of wonderful mentors who I expect will continue mentoring. And if you're represented here, thank you already for your service. And if you're here and you're not mentoring someone and you'd like to, we would really, really appreciate you signing up to be a mentor. You can use any of these links out here, and we'll also send out an email as well. And particularly, we want more Black mentors. Some feedback that I've received from the program is that we have lots of mentors who aren't Black, who are using their platform, using their privilege to help Black students, and we appreciate that. And we would also benefit so much more from established neuropsychologist professionals, or even if you're just an advanced graduate student, if particularly those of us who identify as Black, there's such an important thing of just being able to connect on that level, particularly for someone who doesn't see themselves represented in the field that much. So look out for our call for mentees and for mentors. And just like me, you can be both a mentee and a mentor. Yeah, we'd appreciate that as much as possible. Thank you.
And just to quickly add to what Jeremy mentioned, you could be at any stage of training. I think sometimes we believe that in order to provide mentorship, you have to either be an advanced trainee or early career and on. But we could gain so much knowledge, even if you're a first year graduate school, you went through the application process. So you could mentor someone who is applying this fall, right? So it doesn't matter if you're still a trainee, a student early on. I think you could provide very valuable mentorship to other trainees who haven't gone through these milestones.
All right, and I see, Annie, I think you posted the link for the application in the chat. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. That one is for the mentor. I will be posting the mentee application soon.
Great, thanks. I'm gonna now pass it on to Day. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. I'm Day O'Shea. I'm the new chair of the Education Committee, and our goal is really to promote neuropsychology education for and featuring the Black community. And so in the last month, I think many of you joined us for Brain Awareness Week. So this is an annual series that takes place in March. And we had a speaker series featuring several of our expert SBN members. And our theme this past year was brain health at every age. So we had talks across the lifespan with Dr. Ray, Dr. Reed, Dr. Butt, and Dr. Grant. And these were excellent talks, and the videos are still available to stream on the SBN YouTube page. So I encourage you all to check that out if you missed any of the talks. And we will be planning some additional educational events and series throughout the year to really promote this mission of education, and especially filling in some of the gaps with information particularly relevant to our communities. We do have 2 new members joining the committee this year and still recruiting additional members. So if you're interested, definitely respond to the recruitment emails that have been going out and get in touch with me as well. If you're interested in the mission, definitely looking forward to putting together more events and continuing to build up this committee.
Thanks so much. I'm going to now pass it to Dr. Shipley Scott.
Thank you, Dr. Harley. Yes, my name is Travis Chevy Scott. I am the incoming CE committee chair. This is a committee that was originally, I think last year, called our training committee. We've since focused our committee mostly on CEs. I've worked very hard with Dr. Harley, our member at large, Dr. Reed, and also Dr. Anderson. We are now approved to host our own CE lectures. And we obtained the continuing education sponsor approval, CESA, from APA late last summer, and it extends through this year. And so now we have CE offerings for our SBN members and non-members alike. And we plan to host frequent live and recorded CE events throughout 2023 and of course beyond as we look to renew our application later this summer. And so far, we've hosted a free live CE lecture by Dr. Yinka Reed in February. You see the title there, Structural Considerations when Working with Black Caregivers and Patients with Dementia-Related Behavioral Disturbances, an Anti-Racist Framework, which will also be available on our website soon. And so I encourage, if you haven't had a chance to see Dr. Reed's talk, be looking for that on our website soon as we look to host some of our previously recorded talks on our website for CE credit. We also are in the process of hosting monthly paid CE events throughout the summer with upcoming events, including our most proximal event being substance use disorders in older adults by Dr. Carrie King, which is actually 2 weeks from today. And so I believe we're starting to advertise the flyer on various social media, and definitely stay tuned to see an ad for that on our listserv and other listservs that are neuropsychology related. I would love to have you there. This will be our first, I think, official paid CE event, as you can see on the flyer there to the right. It's a limited time offer, only $10 for this first CE. We will be slightly increasing our prices in the subsequent months, but would love to have you in 2 weeks. And we also will be having additional events, including our first official CE partnership with the California Psychological Association Division 8 in the beginning of May of 2023. And actually that will be Dr. Harley presenting. So we're working on the flyer for that right now, and definitely stay tuned to look for that being advertised. And we will be having a brief series on cultural considerations for providing care to deaf populations in June of 2023. So also definitely look forward to that too. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at our CE events throughout the summer and beyond.
Thanks so much. I will say, I want to add to that the CE talk for Dr. King, it is $10 for those who want CEs, but if you just are super interested, it's completely free. Maybe we can post a link in the chat for those who may be interested in registering.
Yes, good idea. And we also are accepting our members to join our CE committee. Would love to have folks join us and help plan our future events.
Now I'm going to pass it to Erica, who is our research director, to talk about the research committee.
Hi, I'm Erica. As I was just greatly introduced as the research director in coming here. And one thing that I would like to spend some time talking about is some of the research initiatives that we have for this committee. And this is also another committee that is looking for members. So if research is something that you're interested in, even if it's not, and you just have ideas, please feel free to join us, reach out to me, and I'm happy to talk more about what we're doing with the committee. And so a big goal of the committee is to develop an advocacy program to promote the inclusion of Black individuals in neuropsych research, because as many of us know, the Black community is largely underrepresented, and that has so many implications from treatments to like the different neuropsych measures to so many things. And so that's a important goal for the research committee. In the next bullet. And another thing that as a whole SBN is passionate about is fixing this pipeline. So helping provide trainees with opportunities to share their research with the broader audience and to highlight some of their accomplishments and network as well. And as well as collaborate with SBN on research that impacts the Black community, help trainees build their skill set in their program of research and their CV that can help them secure jobs as they move forward in their career. And as far as research goes, big factors that we're looking into are things that impact health disparities, mentorship, and what things help get Black individuals through the pipeline, researchers, trainees at all level, postdoc clinicians. So whatever we can do to support trainees at all levels and to further get an idea of how we can best serve our community and much more. So that's why we're looking for a diverse group of individuals with a lot of different types of ideas to come to the research committee, because we're really open to what we can do to impact the field from a research standpoint. And so join if you can.
Thank you so much, Erica. I think all of our committees are really looking for members. We'll talk more about that today. I'm going to pass it on to Leah, who I believe is going to help us talk about SJC.
Yes, I'm so excited to be able to stand in for the SJA committee. We are, as the SJA committee, in a position to provide leadership as agents of pro-social change, advocacy, and social justice. And the context of most of the current events, police brutality, the re-traumatization and criminalization of African Americans, media sensation, demonstrations, racial tensions, and hate crimes have their roots in the history of psychology and social injustice. So our primary objective is to promote societal understanding, affirmation, and appreciation of multiculturalism against the damaging effects of individual, institution, and societal racism, prejudice, and all forms of oppression based on stereotyping and discrimination. So if we can go on to the next slide, in collaboration with our sister organizations, ANA, QNS, HNS, and in collaboration with ANST and WIN, a current initiative working toward our objectives is the development of a 3-part CE webinar series to amplify trainees' voices and provide guidance to supervisors as well as professional organizations by discussing those topics, including obstacles faced by trainees from diverse backgrounds and ways to empower them, increasing supervision competencies when working with trainees from diverse backgrounds, and even practical guidelines and roles of organizations in supporting trainees from diverse backgrounds. And so as we continue to develop the series, you can definitely expect to see them promoted on our listserv as well as other listservs and even social media. So hopefully we'll see you soon in all 3 of those webinar series.
Thanks so much. That sounds so exciting. I'm now going to pass it to Dr. Yinka Reed. As you have heard from many of the people who just spoke, we are looking for members. Hi, Yinka, are you with us?
I thought I was. There we go. All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Yinka Reed. I'm a member at large on the SBN board. You might have seen an announcement that went out about 2 weeks ago. We're looking for committee members for all of our committees. We're also looking for 2 committee chair positions. Something to note, so I put the link in the chat if you're interested in serving on an SBN committee. So you can just click that link. It'll take you to a Google form, fill that out. We already have some responses. So those of you who may have applied already, I see you. We are in the midst of sort of organizing things and whatnot, but as we've alluded to, or maybe not so much of alluding to it, that just made me lose my train of thought. Oh, but we're looking for committee members. So, but something to keep in mind is that number 1, you have to be a member. So join SBN if you want to serve on a committee, and if you're interested in the committee chair positions, you need to your membership level should be at professional or associate. So if you are a trainee, you cannot be a chair, but you certainly can be a committee member, and we welcome you with open arms. I'm wondering, are there other things to note? I'll say just sort of personally, I have found it I think that oftentimes we're sort of wondering, what's my bandwidth? Like, am I going to be able to do one more thing? Because I'm sure that many folks would be interested or certainly support the mission of SBN. And the sort of number of hours that it's going to take up in your day-to-day is certainly going to vary. But I found it to be incredibly heartening to be seeing so many Black professionals and trainees just to be in community with one another. And so I encourage folks to consider serving on a committee for that reason as well. I think that it helps you develop professionally, and I'm done with my training, but it's still our monthly meetings and whatnot are something that I look forward to, just to be in community with folks outside of emails and listservs and that sort of thing. As other folks have said, it was really just absolutely lovely to see folks at INS last year, so or this year. So the link is in the chat. If you have additional questions, feel free to chat, send a direct chat to me, or I can put my email in the chat as well. And yeah, hope to work with all of you at some point in future.
Thanks so much, Shinka. Like she said, the link is in the chat. You guys, I really encourage even trainees and to apply. I think for me, this has been definitely one of a very rewarding experience being on a committee. Kind of in tandem with that, coming up this fall is we are going to be holding elections again. We will be holding elections for president-elect as well as the committee chairs. You should see a call for nominations probably mid to early fall, with voting taking place November, December, and the new term will begin in February. So just keep an eye out for that for those of you who may be interested in either president-elect, or the other thing to consider is or interested right now, we're looking for committee chairs for two specific committees, the member committee and the communications committee, but there may be other openings for other committee chairs coming in the fall. And really that brings us to the end of our presentation today. I really want to thank everyone for coming. There's a lot going on in the organization with a lot of events coming up. I know there was a lot of links put in the chat, so just keep it. I am pretty sure if they have not been already, there'll be lots of these links will be sent via flyers and advertisements on our listserv, as well as other neuropsych oriented listservs. If you are not a member yet, we highly recommend and will highly welcome you to join our organization. It's been really a rewarding experience to be working with everyone and to meet everyone. And for those of you who are already members, I hope to see you guys in person, maybe at the next conference. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm going to give it back to Jeremy, because I think for those of you who want to stick around, we're going to have a trivia night. So it was great meeting you all, and I'm going to pass it back to Jeremy.